Shirin. Hi everyone, Shirin here, and welcome back to Video Editing 101. Today's stream is super exciting because we're talking all about how to edit a fashion lookbook video. These videos are so much fun. They're like your regular outfit video, but elevated. So I'm going to teach you how to do fun things like adding graphics to it and just really making a fun outfit video. It's going to be amazing. But before we get into that, pop into the chat, let me know where you are tuning in from. Let's go into the chat, let's see who we've got here today. So we've got Cody Bear and Paco, hello, hello. We've also got Ollie, we've got Savash. Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right or wrong. I'm trying my best. I know my name is also like super hard. Everybody else always just gets it wrong. For those of you who are just tuning in now, make sure to pop into the chat and let me know where you are tuning in from. So we are going to be jumping into Premiere and we're going to get started. So the first thing that is always super important when you edit these outfit videos or just like really any video, right, is finding music. So how you can do that is by going over to the audio workspace right here. And then you see how you have this essential sound panel. So within here, you have Adobe Stock. So in Adobe Stock, you can search for music, and it's really great because it lets you filter by mood, genre, and then different filters. So let me show you. So if you toggle down moods, you have all these different moods. And so you can check them. And so let's say, for example, we want dreamy. Maybe we also want mellow. So you can just check those, and then we can go into genres. So if we go down here, you see you have all these different options, right? So I'm not going to be super picky about this. I'm not going to pick a genre, but let's go down to filters. So within filters, you can change the tempo, so the beats per minute, basically how fast or slow the song is, and then also the duration. So if you're working on a project and it's like 8 minutes long and you need a song that's 8 minutes long, you can bring this down and choose 8 minutes. Something more or less like that, right? And it'll bring up all the songs that are 8 minutes. And in this case, we don't have a song that's 8 minutes long with those settings. But I'm not really concerned about the duration. What I'm more concerned about for this video is the tempo. So right now, it's going to be too quick. I want something a little bit slower. So I'm going to bring this slider down to around, maybe let's do like 80. And we can start looking through the songs and seeing what we have. So I'll do something around there, like 83. All right, nothing. So let's go back up here to the moods, and I'm going to get rid of mellow. We'll just keep it on dreamy. Okay, cool. There we go. So now you'll see it'll bring up all these different songs, right? And you can tell what the beats per minute are by looking at the side right here over on the top right of each individual track. So here, this one, for example, it's 56 beats per minute. This next one is 70, 80. So we can just play through them and we can get a feel for what these songs sound like. So let's start with Wisdom. Why is it playing? Oh, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna mute this track because it's gonna play this song and it's gonna play whatever is on your timeline at the same time. So it's really great. You can get a feel for what the music will sound like with your video without having to drag it to your timeline. So let's go and try that again. All right, so this one, it's a little bit too slow, a little bit too mellow. Don't really want that one. Let's go on to these this next one. Okay, love that one. That's actually the one that I ended up picking. So I do have that already on my timeline. And if you want to, you can also license the song from within Adobe Premiere Pro. So right here, if you press this little shopping cart icon, and if you hover over it, it'll say license. So if I press this, it will bring up this window right here, and it'll say license Adobe stock music track, and then you can press confirm and license it right there. And if you want to bring this over to your timeline, how you can do it is by just dragging and dropping it over. So let me show you, like for example, let's just do the first one just so I can show you. You can just drag and drop this over and it'll say adding wisdom to the library, and now you see that track is right there. Now keep in mind that this is going to be a more compressed version of the audio. You're not going to get the full version until you license the song. But this is great because you can start working on your edit and cutting to the music if you want to. And then once you're done, you can go back in and just bring in the licensed version, which will give you like the oomph quality song, you know? So another way to know where your music track is over in your project library. So let me just go back to my own workspace. It's a little bit too cluttered right now. Okay, so over here in the project panel, you'll see whenever you add a song from Adobe Stock, it'll create this new bin and it'll say stock audio media. So if I toggle this down, now I have these two tracks in there. So it's always great. You can always go back there and reference them and bring it back to the timeline if you happen to delete it off of your timeline for whatever reason. So I'm going to toggle this back up. And I'm going to get rid of this second track that we added because I don't want that one. So I'm just going to press delete. There we go. So the next thing that we want to do is start adding in our clips. And what I like to do for these videos is usually in the beginning to have some sort of intro sequence where the shots are timed to the music. Now, what's really cool about Premiere is that you can actually set markers and have Premiere basically do all the hard work for you. So let me show you what I mean. The first thing that I always do is I take a listen to the actual song to get a feel for where the beats are and where I want to place the cuts. So we're just going to listen to about the first 15 seconds or so, and I really want you to pay attention to the beats here. Keep a mental note of where you would want to insert cuts. So let's press play. Right, okay, so anywhere that I was going like this, that's where I know I want to make a cut, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to play this again, and we're going to add markers to the points where we want to make a cut, so on those beats. And how you can add a marker is by pressing M on your keyboard. So as I'm pressing play and listening, I'm going to keep pressing M and you're going to see markers appear on my timeline. So let's play that again. All right, and so another way that you can take note of where these beats are is by looking over here and expanding this waveform. So the way that I expanded it is by just hovering over on this left side right here, and you can bring down this track as much as you want. So we can also zoom in a little bit more by just scrubbing over on this bottom part right here. So now you'll see this first chunk is basically a little bit quieter, and then the song starts to pick up, and this is where the beat drops, right? And you can really clearly see that in the waveform because it goes from all the way down here to up here. So the next thing that we want to do is start adding in our clips. So what we want to do is go over to our footage first. So over here, I'm going to toggle down on footage, and I have some B-roll, and then I have my 3 different outfits, right? So I want to add in some B-roll for the beginning. It's going to be kind of like this getting ready sequence, and then it'll go into showing the outfits. So you want to set in and out points for all of the clips that you want to use within this intro sequence. And This is going to be really important. You'll find out why in a sec. So let's go through individually all the clips and we can set in and out points. So right now I just double clicked on this clip right here and it brought it up into my source panel right here. So right now you see that I already have in and out points set. And all that means is that at the in point, we're telling Premiere, hey, we want this clip to start at this point. And for the out point, we want the clip to end at this point. And the way that you can set these in and out points is by setting I for in, so pressing I on your keyboard, and then O for out. So let me get rid of these and I will show you how you can do that. So let's say, for example, you want this to start around here. So I'm going to press I on my keyboard and now you see that in point has expanded to this beginning part right here. And then let's scrub forward a little bit. Let's say we want the out point to be right there. So we can now press O. And now we have set the out point to right there. So now the whole clip is just going to be this part right here. And when I bring it onto my timeline, like this, you can press this icon right here. It'll say drag video only. And you'll see only that part has been added to my timeline, not the whole video, which is really great. So I'm going to press Command C and I'm just going to bring back my original in and out points. And let's just go through these clips and I'm going to make sure that they all have in and out points. All right, so that one has it. This one has it. Just making some rough cuts over here. All right, cool. So they all should pretty much have it. So the next thing I want to take note of is how many markers I placed on my timeline. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 markers. So I'm going to insert maybe like 10 clips to begin with, because maybe for some of them I want to add some effects and just have the beat kind of emphasize the same video. I'll show you what I mean. So let's just pick 10 of these B-roll shots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I know that I need from here to here. So I'm going to press Shift and then press up here, and now I've selected all of these. The next thing you want to do is go up to Clip, Automate to Sequence. So now it'll bring up this panel and it gives you a bunch of different options. So the first one is your order. So you can either have these clips imported into your timeline based on your selection order or the sort order. So since I selected this clip first, the last one, and then I went back and selected these, it'll be in that selection. Let's say I want to do it by sort order. So this will be the order that it is sorted over in your project panel right here. The next thing is the placement. So right now it is set to at unnumbered markers, and that is exactly what we want. So it is going to place those clips at these markers right here. And the next one is the method. So you could either insert your edit or overwrite the edit, and we're going to do overwrite edit. Now, for the still clip duration, we're going to keep this selected. This is using the in and out range, and that is those in and out points that we set. And then down here, you see we have this option to ignore the audio. And for this one, I have it toggled on because I don't care about the audio in these clips since I'm going to be having music playing. So now I'm going to press OK. And this is something that you don't want to happen. And I did this on purpose because I want to show you. So if you don't have your playhead placed at the beginning right here, it will look like Premiere will look to insert your clips after your playhead, basically. And we don't want that. So I'm going to press Command C, and you're going to make sure to have your playhead right at the beginning so that way it'll have markers to look for and place those clips at. So let's do that again. We're going to go to, we're going to select these clips. So I'm going to press this one, and then I'm going to press Shift, press this one, and now we've selected all of these. And we're going to go to Clip, Automate to Sequence, and we will press OK. And now you'll see Premiere has automatically inserted those clips onto our timeline. And there are some gaps, and the reason for this is because the in and out points that we created for these clips aren't long enough to match the duration of the markers that we set. And that's a really easy fix. You can just go into your timeline right here and just extend these out just like that. So that is super easy to do. So now if we just quickly take a look at these, you'll see that Premiere has made cuts at these points. So let's press play. All right, cool. So that is a really quick and easy way to add some clips in there. But I do want to go in and make some few changes. Maybe I want to change out some of the clips because this just isn't where I want it to be yet. And you'll notice some of these clips are really zoomed in, right? And the reason for that is because some of these were shot in 4K and our sequence is set to 1080. So we're gonna have to go back over to our effect controls and just bring down the scale. So I'm gonna bring this down to around, let's do like 50-ish. We'll do 50. And now it is perfectly framed for our composition. So I'm gonna just go forward. Let me just take note of which clips are 4K. So these are all 4K, they're all super zoomed in. I think almost all of these are shot in 4K. So a really easy way to apply that scale down effect to all these clips, instead of going in and individually selecting and bringing them down to 50, is by selecting this clip right here that we already scaled down, and we can right click and press copy. Now we're going to right click on that clip again and then go to label, select label group. So now we've selected all of the clips on our timeline, and it selected them because they're all the same color, right? So now we can go back and we can just right click on that again and we'll press paste attributes. So now we are going to make sure that the motion is selected and we will press OK. And now you'll see if we scrub through, all of our clips have been scaled down, and this one was actually not 4K, huh? Love it. They've all been resized. And this one we will also bring back up to 100 because it was also not shot at 4K. All right, so we'll go back to the beginning, and this one will also be set to 100. So I know that in the beginning, I do want this clip that I had in this original sequence right here, this one, right? So I'm gonna go and find that in my project panel. So I believe that was outfit 2, maybe? Was it outfit 2? No. Maybe it was outfit 1? No. Okay, it was outfit 3. We're gonna find this clip. Alright, so I know it was this outfit, and it was... Ooh, perfect. How did I select that? Second try. Alright, so now I know that I want this clip, and I don't have in and out points set, so I'm gonna set some in and out points. We'll do, let's see, I want it to start around here, so I'll press I, and then I'll scrub forward a little bit, and let's say I want it to end more or less around here. So we'll press O. Now I'm gonna bring this over to my timeline again, and again, I'm making sure to select this icon right here. It's like a little film strip. So I'm pressing this, dragging this over to my timeline, and then placing it onto my timeline. And so I'm just putting it on the second track right here because I just kind of want to cut it and get a feel for it and see how things are going. This is kind of what I like to do when I'm just messing around with the placement of things. I'll just experiment, I'll do things on different tracks, and then once I finally figure out what I like, I'll just bring it out onto my first track right here, the V1. So if we take a listen to the music again, I know that it'll go like, gosh, my singing is like not it. I'm not a singer. But I know that I want this clip to scale in a little bit once that second drop hits. So let's take a listen and see where I should make that cut. Okay, so somewhere around like here, right? So I know that I want to put a cut around here. And what I want to do now is scale this up to, maybe we'll do like 110%. Something like that. Super subtle, but enough that you'll notice there's a little bit of movement going on. Paco is asking, wait, how is that going to go again? We're not singing that again. I'm not a singer. And then Cody Bear says, really helpful. And Savash is saying, I guess the video needs some slow motion at some points. Totally, yes. And we're going to get into that in a sec. I did actually film some footage in slow-mo, so we're going to get into that. So much fun. So now let's listen and watch this. And oh, that went way too quick. All right, there we go. Love it. Okay, so I know that I want that, so I'm just gonna get rid of these clips right here, and I'm gonna bring this over to make space for these two. I'm gonna select these and then bring them down to V1. So now that that's good, I know that's where I want the first clip to be. We're gonna go through and we're gonna keep watching this and seeing where else we need to make some adjustments. Okay, this clip I have in here twice, and I don't really want to brush this twice. It's not really adding anything to this. What I want to do now is add in some footage from the actual outfit. So the purpose, or like the point of this video, is going to be showing how to style one pair of boots 3 ways. So like 1 boot, 3 outfits. So I want to introduce the boots now, just to get you thinking about the boots. So we are going to go and find some boot footage. So something like that, and I already have some in and out points set, so I'm going to drag this back into my timeline just like that. And again, I will scale this down by going over to Effect Controls and then setting the scale to 50. So now I know that I want this clip to only be this duration right here, between the length of the markers that I set. So I'm just going to scrub through and see if there's any interesting parts in here. So like right here, that's more interesting to me. There's some movement in the shot, so I will start this clip around here. So I'll just drag this in by clicking and dragging in. And now I know I want it to start there. I'll bring it over right here. And this is a clip that I want to replace. And then I need to set another cut, like I need to bring in this clip. So I'm going to bring it in right here. And now it has aligned to the length of those markers. So I'm just going to drag this down and basically overwrite that clip. So now if we go through, we have some boot footage, very cool. And then let's add another boot shot. So I do have a shot somewhere in B-roll. Let's go see if we can find it. Was it this one? Maybe it was this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so the curtains are like moving in, there's some movement, very cool. So I'm gonna bring this into the timeline. And for this one, it was shot in slow motion. So if you look over here at the frame rate, you'll see that it was 59.94 frames per second, whereas these other clips were 23.976 frames per second. So what that means for this one, this clip right here, the 59.94 frames per second, it means that we can slow it down in our timeline. So how you can do that is by right-clicking, and then we can go over to speed duration, and then we can bring this down to 40%. And now, let me just expand on my timeline a little bit. You will see that it has now increased the length of our clip because we've slowed it down. So if we take a look at this, we have some slowed movement going on, which is really cool. So I'm gonna bring this in, and that's all I really want. I just really want like the curtain movement. So let's play this and see if I want to add another clip at any point or if we're good. Okay, I think I'm gonna add one more. So right here, y'all, I'm gonna sing again. Where it goes like, We're gonna do another cut somewhere around here. So I think in the waveform, I'm taking a look at it, I think it's around here. So I'm just gonna bring this playhead to around right there. And I will just scoot this clip over. Paco says yes. I guess this should be a singing stream. We're gonna make this into like a singing competition now. Alright, so let's press play around here. Okay, right. So that's what I want, and I'm gonna bring this down again, just overwrite that. And I want one more clip to go in right here, and I do want this to be another boot shot. So let's find another boot shot. Maybe, do I want that one? You know what, let's do outfit too. Because this one has jeans. If I can find the shot. Ah, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this in to my timeline again, just dragging it in. And again, we're gonna have to scale this one down to 50. And let's just scrub through and see if there's some movement going on in this one. All right, very subtle. Let's do maybe this tail end of the clip right here where the boot's moving back a little bit more. So I will just bring this in and we'll scoot it over. And I'm going to just align this with this cut. So I'm gonna bring it in a little bit. Now I'll bring it down to replace that clip. So now let's take a look. All right, so the next thing that I want to do here is just shorten this clip to line it up with that drop. So I'm going to scoot this over and you'll see right here, it'll actually snap to the marker. So that makes it really easy for you to know, okay, this clip needs to end right here. So the next thing that I want to do is actually add a title. So I'm going to go over here and select this type tool right here. This is the T icon. And so now that I have it selected, you'll see this cursor will come up. And if I click once, I can now start to write some text. So we'll write in, what did I want to call this? I think it was 1 boot 3 outfits, something like that. I don't know. We'll just stick with that. And then I'm going to go over to my graphics workspace. So I'm going to select graphics up here, and then we will go to edit. So now we can edit all of the settings for the text. So first thing I want to do is change the font. Y'all know I love Montserrat. It is the supreme font. I love it. It's really clean. And I'm going to set this to all caps by pressing this double T icon right here. And the next thing I want to do is make sure that it is perfectly centered. So up here in Align and Transform, I'm going to press this icon right here to align it vertically, and then this icon right here to align it horizontally. And now it is perfectly centered. And let's take a look and let's see if we need to change the color of the text. No, I think that's pretty cool. You can read it. Looks good to me. So I'm going to drag this over to match up with this clip right here, and then we'll just bring it over. And now the text is the length of that video clip. So let's play this one more time. Okay, cool. Looking good. So now we can move on to the actual outfits. So let's go over to our project panel. And I'm gonna go back to my own workspace over here. All right, so we're gonna go back to project panel, go to the footage, and we will go into outfit 1. So what I'm gonna do is start off with another boot clip actually. And what I like to do here is give each of the outfits a title. So you just want to use, honestly, any random clip. It could just be a close-up shirt shot or pants shot or whatever, it doesn't really matter. Since for this one, the focus is more so on the boots, I'm going to bring in this shot of the boots. So let me bring this into my timeline. And then again, effect controls, going to bring this down to 50. And I'm going to give this a title. We're going to call this outfit the minimalist because it's super minimal. So the minimalist. And then to select all of the text, I'm going to press Command A, and we're going to go back into our graphics workspace so that we can change the center and like really make sure it's aligned. So back in Align and Transform, we're going to go to Align vertically and then Align horizontally. All right, looking good. And then I'm just gonna scoot this over and I'm gonna take a listen to the song again to see where I want this clip to end. Okay, around right here because it'll go into another beat. So I'm gonna just bring these clips over. And now what I'm gonna do is introduce the full outfit, so the full body shot. So let's go back over to project and let's find that clip. I believe it's this one. Did I do 2 takes for this? Yes. Did I do 3 takes for this? No. Okay, 2 takes. So I think it was this one. Yeah. Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna bring this in to my timeline. And right now, that is not how we want it to look. So we are going to effect controls and we are gonna change the rotation. And we're gonna do -90. And then I'm gonna bring down the scale. We'll do something maybe like a 52. And what I want to do here is actually duplicate this clip twice so that we have 3 versions of me filling up our frame. And this is really great because if you're finding that you're having trouble filming these outfit shots, like full body, in a landscape aspect ratio, this is a really great way to film in vertical and still pull it off and make it work. So the first thing we're actually going to do is go into color because I don't know about y'all, but I really cannot edit unless things are kind of like colored first. And this one's a little bit too dark for me. It's honestly throwing me off. So I'm just going to go into exposure and bump this up. By no means is this how the final video will look, but this is just what I like to do so that I can start editing. Let me know in the comments if you're like that. Like, what is your process? Do you need to go in with a base color grade or like color correction, or do you do all your coloring at the end? Everyone's so different. It's so interesting. So the next thing that I want to do is actually add some cool effects to this. So I'm going to increase the width of this so you can see a little bit more clearly. And you see how this FX icon right here is in the corner of a clip. We're going to right click that and it'll bring up these different options. So I want to go to time remapping and then go to speed. So what this allows you to do is basically speed ramp your clip. So I know that I want this to speed up a little bit around right here. As I'm changing over to the side, I want that part to be quicker. So I'm going to press Command on my keyboard and it'll bring up this plus sign to your cursor. So let me let go of Command and you'll see it's just like your normal cursor. Once I press Command and I hover over this line, it'll give me the ability to basically add a point. And what I can do is drag these out and then we can toggle this curve right here. I'll show you in a sec. So I'm gonna go and add one more point around here. This is where I want that sped up part to end. And now if I just bring that middle part over, that middle line, take note of this number on the right. You see how it's like going to 40 and it's going to keep going up and up. This is your speed. So I'm telling Premiere, I want this section of the clip right here to be sped up to 300%, 400%, whatever you want it to be. So I'm just going to do around like 300% just to start. We can always go back in and change this. So what I'm going to do is bring out these right here. And basically this is going to either increase or decrease the length of your speed ramp. So as I'm bringing these out, you'll see that line is getting longer, right? So it's gonna take a little bit longer to speed ramp into the speed ramp. It's basically like the transition leading into it, right? So I'm gonna bring these in because I want the transition to be a little bit quicker. And then to really smooth out the transition, you can change the curve right here. So you see these little handlebars. Let me see if I can increase this a bit. You see these handlebars, right? If I press this and start dragging it to the left, that curve will now become more of an S curve and it's smoother. So take note of how this one is more smooth as opposed to this one. It's just like a line, right? We want these to be smooth. We want this to be a really smooth ramp, speed ramp. So I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. Cannot speak. I'm gonna select this point and then just bring this over and smooth out that ramp. So now if we play this back, it might go a little bit too quick, we'll see, but get a lot of really cool effects. So let's press play. Oh, that was actually really nice. So it's really subtle. You may not have noticed it. I'll play it one more time and let me actually bring up this program monitor. I'm just gonna press the tilde key, which is that squiggly line, to bring this up. Where did the clip go? Okay, hold on. Where did I jump to? Let's go back to this clip right here. And let's press play. Right, so you see how I just kind of like quickly turn to the side now? We can make this even faster if we wanted to. So we'll go back over to this part right here. And you want to make sure that those points are no longer selected. You're going to hover over this middle part right here and then start to bring it up, and we're just going to increase that speed a little bit more. So maybe let's do like 500. We'll see what 500 is looking like. Gonna keep bringing this up. Right there. All right, so now let's take a look at this. I actually kind of like that better. I like the faster version. Let me know in the chat what you think. I see we've also got Sophie in the chat. Hello, hello. She says, yes, same here. And Cody Bear also says, yes, I need to edit the color as I edit. Yeah, I really think it just makes such a difference to go in, having even just a base color grade in there. It just helps me actually see the edit come to life. We've also got Van from Cambodia in the chat. Hello. So I'm going to go in and I'm actually going to increase this a little bit more. I want it a little bit faster. So maybe let's do like, let's be wild. Let's do 800%. I'm just going to take it all the way up. Watch this be way too fast. This is always an experimentation though, right? Like, don't be afraid to play around with this and see what works best for you and your footage. So let's press play one more time. Ooh, that was actually fire. I love that. Mr. Eric says the quick turn fits better. I totally agree. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep that quick. 800% was actually nice. So next thing I'm gonna do is duplicate my clips. So let me just bring this down. And I'm going to duplicate this by pressing Option, clicking this clip right here, and then dragging up one. So now we have duplicated that clip. And then I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to duplicate. And you can't really see them right now because they're all positioned at the same spot. So we're going to go in and we're going to change the positioning. So I'm going to select this middle one right here. And then we are going to go into our position. And we're just going to bring this over to the left a little bit. Now, I'm not being super precise here, I'm just getting it kind of in a general position. I can always go back in and really spend some time making sure, oh, it's like at the right pixel, you know? But that's not really the point here. I just want to get you to the fun part, which is going to be adding some call-out graphics. So now we have these 3 clips looking good, and we can actually change the background color underneath it. So right now it's black because it's just, you know, standard. We have no other footage underneath it. What we can do is add a color. So I'm going to select all these clips by pressing and dragging down, and I'm going to bring them up 1 layer. And so on this first track right here, I'm actually going to add a background. So if I go back over to my project panel and I go down here and I press this icon that says new item, I'm going to look for color matte. So we're going to press color matte, and these settings are fine at 1920 by 1080. That is the aspect ratio of our video, and we're going to press OK. Now the next thing it's going to let you do is select the color. So you can either use the eyedropper tool right here, and we can go and select the color from anywhere on screen. So let's say maybe we want to do the color of the wall. So something like that, we'll pick the wall. Or you can go in and, per usual, you know, just change the colors around here. You can also scrub down to change the colors, so like if you want pink, for example. But I kind of want to do something more neutral, so I'm going to select the eyedropper tool again, and we're going to go back and just pick the wall. And then you can change the name of this color mat, so let's just call it something maybe like tan, and we'll press OK. So now we have created this right here in our project panel. This is your color mat and it says tan, so now we know this is our tan color. So if I bring this over to my timeline by just clicking and dragging, bringing it over and placing it right there, you'll see we have now added a background, and that is a really cool way of just elevating the video a little bit more, making it a little bit more interesting than having just black. It might be blending in too much to the wall, but whatever, that's fine. We can always change that later. And if you do want to change the color map, by the way, you can do that by just double clicking right here on the clip, and then it'll bring up the color picker. You can go in and change the color again. So let's just darken it a little bit. Sure, looks good. So the next thing that I want to do is add some call out animations. And these are really cool because, you know, like in videos where they'll call out, there's like text on screen and it'll say, oh, like the top is from this place and the bottoms are from this place. That's what we're gonna do. I love those animations. They look so cool. Christoph put a little emoji with glasses, the sunglasses emoji. So thank you. Yeah. I love that emoji because it's like, I'm cool. Deborah also says, hello, liking the work. Hello, Deborah. I'm glad you like it. Thank you for tuning in. So we're going to go into our graphics workspace, and within Essential Graphics right here on the right, we're going to go into Adobe Stock. So I'm going to select Adobe Stock, and we're going to choose free. I'm going to press this right here, and we are going to look for call out. And what a call out is basically the animation that I was describing, where it'll bring attention to something. It's like, it's a call out. So if I select this first one right here and I hover over it, we'll get a preview of what that call out animation looks like. So this one basically just comes in and out, the opacity changes, that's all we've got going on. This one has 2 lines and it has a little bit more animation going on. This one, let's see, the flashing call out. Ooh, that's a little intense for this. We want something a little bit more subtle. So maybe let's just do this first one, call out bottom left. So I'm gonna choose this and then click and drag it over to my timeline and place it over these clips. So right off the bat, I don't love the color. It's not really matching the aesthetic of the video. So I'm gonna select this right here, and we are going to go into Essential Graphics and change it all up. So the first thing that I'm going to change is the text box. Listen, I know it's almost Halloween, but I don't want Halloween colors in here, even though I love Halloween. So I'm going to change the fill to black. So I'm going to press on it to bring up my color picker, and then we'll just choose black. And then I also want to change the circle right here from orange to black. So I'm going to choose circle right here and then go back to appearance, and I will change this to black. And then, of course, we gotta change the font. I gotta bring back Montserrat. So we're gonna go back to text, and I'm gonna look for Montserrat Bold. All right, looking good. So now what I wanna do is actually type in, you know, where the outfit's from. So we're gonna do Express, and I'm gonna press Command A to select all of that, and then choose all caps again, this double T icon right here within your text properties. And now we have made that all caps. It just looks nicer to me. I really prefer all caps. So now what I want to do is scale this all down. And you want to be careful here because let me show you. If you scale this down like that, you're only scaling down the express text, not everything. And you don't want to do that. You want to scale it all down so they're all, you know, like scaled down proportionally. So I'm going to press Command Z. And right now you see how we have express selected. We're going to just get rid of that by pressing down here, and now nothing is selected, right? So that means we can transform all of these different properties, the express, text box, circle, and the line, all at once by just scrubbing right here And now they're all scaling down proportionally. So I'm going to scale this down to fit within the video, that middle one right there, and I will also change the position a little bit just so that it's highlighting the actual top. And let's scrub over here. Let's figure out where we want this to actually come in. So I'm thinking maybe this should come in at the beginning, right here where I'm looking straight on, and then it'll cut around here when I'm turning to the side. Let me know in the chat what you think. Do you think that's a good spot? Or should we do maybe somewhere down here actually where I'm spending a little bit more time to the side and you would have more time for the text to stay on screen? Let me know. I'm gonna keep an eye out in the chat for that. But for now, I'm just gonna do the beginning. We can always go back in and change this. So I'm going to bring in this clip to about here. You know, actually to about, yeah, that's good. Because it'll start fading out and then I turn to the side. So we're gonna reposition this so that it's looking a little bit better, somewhere around here. And then I'm gonna duplicate this because I also want to call out the pants. So again, with this clip selected, I'm gonna press Option and then drag up, and now we have duplicated that. So I'm gonna bring this down for the pants, and we'll do something maybe like this. And so let's play this back. Okay, that's really quick, huh? Let's take a look at the chat. Mr. Eric says, inside, not outside. Uniformity. What do you mean by that? Do you think it should be at the beginning, like here, or more so like here? Side or straight on? Let's try the side. I'm gonna bring these clips over just so that we have more time for the text to actually stay on screen. So we can let the text stay on till about here, I'm thinking. So with both of these selected, I'm just gonna drag them out. And now we have expanded the length of those clips. So let's take a look. And honestly, that's a little bit quick too. So maybe we'll just bring it down and expand it a little bit more over to the left so it has some time to come in quicker. Let's see. Okay, much better. We can actually read it. There's the text staying on screen for a little bit. That looks good. Now, if you do want to bring this over and really call out the actual like top itself and have the call out circle on, you know, like the pants or whatever, you can just move over the call out to change the positioning and it'll look something like that. So let's see, Mr. Eric is saying middle with you turn to the side unless you're editing out more. Okay, yeah, we're on the same page, love it. So let's just take a look at this part right here one more time. Okay, cool, that looks good. So now we're gonna go back and we're gonna pay attention to the music. So something I really love to do is edit to the beat, if you haven't noticed already. So for this right here, what I want to do is, it's like somewhere in the beat, somewhere around here. The beat kind of like, it goes back to back, like, I'm not gonna sing again. You'll listen and you'll see. Right there, boom, boom, boom. So right there, I want this middle clip to kind of pop out a little bit at you so that it matches the beat and adds a little bit more movement. So we are going to choose this middle one right here. And let me just play the audio again one more time. I'm going to scrub into the timeline to really see these waveforms. Right, okay, so right here, boom, boom, boom. So around right here, I know I want the clip to get a little bit larger. So what we're going to do is add keyframes. So we're going to go over to the scale and I'm going to press the stopwatch icon to add our first keyframe. And then I'm just going to tab forward using the arrow keys. Maybe we'll go 2 frames over. Sure, why not? And then we will be super subtle with this. We'll do maybe a 54. And then I'm going to go over 2 more frames. So 1, 2, pressing over with my arrow key. And then I'm going to bring this back down to 52. So let's take a look at that. Did that even do anything? Oh, it went so quick. Okay, I think it's playing back a little bit laggy right now, but if I go over to this right here, you'll see what I'm talking about. So you see how right there, it popped out at you? That's basically what we're going for. So let me see if it's played, if it's had time to render out a little bit. Okay, it hasn't, but it's fine. You get the point. So adding keyframes over to your scale for the video is a really cool and fun way to add a little bit more visual interest to the video, especially when you're editing to the beat. I love doing that. Let's see. Mr. Eric is saying, I would also add a flash around the front shoe for the triplet beat. A flash? Like with the text? We can experiment. We could also add another call out if we wanted to call out the shoe. So we'll press this clip right here again, and then we'll press Option, bring this up, just to duplicate that one more time. And then we will go back over to our graphics workspace and then press Edit. And then let's just change the settings for transform. And so now we can call out the shoes as well. So we can do something maybe around here. And for this one, I'm going to select the express text just so that I can change that text right there. I'm going to double click. And then we will call out the brand of the shoe. So this one is Naturalizer. All right. And then since that is kind of a really long word, I'm going to change the position and bring this over. Maybe we'll do it on this other boot. Something like that. And let's take a look. Okay. I really want to go back and change this a little bit. Oh, okay. Mr. Eric is saying, so the triplet beat will be visualized with the callouts. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so we can actually stagger these. Let's try that out. So we're going to go over to the triplet beat somewhere around here. And let me go back to my workspace so it looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, so I'm going to select all these callouts right here, and I'm going to drag them over to the triple beat. And just going based off the waveforms, I know that we'll have a beat here, we'll have another beat here, and a beat around here. So I'm going to bring over the playhead to this second beat right here, and I'm going to bring down, or bring over rather, this second call out. Then I'm going to go to this third beat around here, and I'm going to bring over the last call out. And now, if I play them back, they will be staggered, so they'll come in one at a time. So let's take a look. And so I do want this to be a little bit quicker. I want the second one to come in a little bit quicker because it's kind of lagging for me. So I'm going to just bring this over one frame to the left. Let's take a look at that. Love it. Great idea. I love this. It's like a group project over here. This is fun. Great idea. We've also got Glenroy, and welcome to the chat. Hello, hello. If you are just tuning in now, you can always watch the replay so you can watch from the beginning. But yeah, let's take a look at the whole thing real quick. How cool is that? So we've learned how to edit some markers, add some title tags, add some callouts, add some keyframes to make the video pop out a little bit more and look fun. So you can always go in and spend some more time really fine-tuning everything, but that is how to edit a fashion lookbook in a nutshell. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned because up next we have some really cool stuff coming up in Photoshop, all about compositing. It is so fun. So stay tuned for that and I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.